From 245 Trioxin Studios, this is Learning to Be Liminal.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Learning to Be Liminal. And now that I say that out loud, I'm going to call it episode 0 because this isn't going to be a full episode. This isn't going to be the format. This is not a solo guy talking into the microphone podcast. This will be an interview podcast, but it was a very hard thing for me to define on paper. So I thought I would do kind of a solo episode to get started, so I can introduce myself to you all and kind of try and explain what this is. My name's Jared. I'm a professional stage magician. I am also a professional reader. I read tarot cards. I read palms for people professionally. It is a thing I believe in. It is a thing I do. I say this because those two professions are on opposite sides of the spectrum. Magicians have a long storied past of being staunch skeptics and kind of being bullies about it. It's a hot take, magicians that are listening to this, because I'm friends with you, that I think skeptic magicians like the amazing Randy did more damage to scientific research of the paranormal and parapsychology and all of these fields of study. I think they did more damage to that being taken seriously than they ever did help. And I like tarot cards and palm readers, that's a religion for some people. That's a thing that we believe in. It gets us into the spiritual, the Wiccan, paganism. It gets us into those territories, which can be trouble for me because I'm in the Bible Belt. So all of this stuff is kind of liminal for me. I'm in the middle of all of these different aspects of my life. I've got people on far ends of the spectrum on all sides of me. So yeah, I'm on the search, I'm on the hunt. So the setup for this is I get into magic sort of late in life and decide I want to be a fortune teller character. So I start learning the meaning of tarot cards because this is a con for me at the time. This is kind of a ruse, a thing I'm going to do because I want people to think it's believable. Naively under the understanding, con's harsh. It's not really a con, but my goal has always been to connect with people and help people forget about the day job for an hour. To help people believe in magic again, right? To show up somewhere and forget about boring old life, right? To believe in something deeper and bigger than all of us. So I did want to take this seriously. So I did study tarot and study it deeply and seriously. And I was going to do tricks with the cards. I just wanted to be prepared if somebody talked to me afterward. I wanted to be able to live the character, I guess. So sure enough, my first magic gigs, I get 3 stage shows a night, but in return, I have to fill in for their fortune teller. It's a carnival, like a haunted carnival kind of thing. So I say, sure, I'll do whatever for $5. I figured I'd just go in there with the cards and cold read the heck out of people. And that's not what happened. I went in there and I started reading tarot cards and weird things started to line up and I started to connect with people on a deep level. And I started to have experiences with people where I thought, there's no way this just lines up right. I started to exceed the limits of what I was capable of just cold reading. It just seemed so much bigger and crazier. And it reignited the search for me to find out the big, like, what if. So I have, what feels like a lifetime ago, I was a worship leader. I was deep in the church. I was a youth leader. And my church career, if we want to call it that, ended horribly in lots of conflict and drama and abuse. And I spent a lot of time being atheist after this is funny. Magic shows up at points in my life. I get into magic at 30. I'm 39 now. So I get into magic at 30, and and by what I mean by that is I start learning playing card sleights at 30, right? And decide that's what I want to do. Before that, I'm a musician. Before that, I'm an actor. I'm in theater. I have all these different things in the arts, but magic shows up at key points in my life. And one of those is my deconstruction. There's a Penn and Teller show called Penn and Teller Bullshit that kind of broke my faith. They have an episode on the Bible, and it broke my Southern Baptist faith. I'll say that. And then I was atheist for a long time, and then I was agnostic. And then this brought me back into like the search, right? What does it all mean? What do I believe in? And I'll play with these gods. I'll play with paganism. I'll play with all this stuff. So that's where my headspace has been at. I've been exploring. I've been seeking. Just all of the gates open back up because of tarot and palm readings and magic in this way, doing these shows. So my particular genre of magic is technically what's called bizarre magic. I'll peel back the curtain a little bit, but bizarre is a genre of magic that's kind of like if D&D and magic had a baby. It starts with these old guys that would call themselves, like the most famous is masculine the mage. I can't say it right. They're all these old guys that were very classic magicians, but they would do like rites of Cthulhu and all these spooky things, and tentacles would appear out of their magic boxes. And it was a magic show, but it was scary. And I think a lot more of it was just storytelling than it was magic. Like even in some of the books that teach us these things, like I don't think half that shit was ever performed. But I fell in love with the spooky side of magic immediately. And I've always been sort of obsessed with Victorian spiritualism. So I wanted to recreate Victorian seances. So that's what I do now. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love to do. Halloween is my favorite season because I get to do that. The rest of the time, I still love magic, but I'm doing more mind reading and kind of, corporate stuff, weddings, private parties, those kinds of things. And then I also make a good chunk of my living from tarot and palm readings for private parties and corporate events. So that's what I do. If you need a guy, go to my website, jaredhowell.com. I'm happy to come and entertain at your event. But yeah, that's where I get in. And through doing this, we get in this space where I'm in the middle and weird stuff is happening all around me. It's like I'm setting the stage for stuff to happen. And we'll go deeper as this podcast goes on. But there's this great book called The Trickster and the Paranormal. I'm rereading it right now about boundaries, like not having boundaries and how things get weird when we kind of break those boundaries apart. That's like an awful summarization of that book. It's so deep. It's like 600 pages, but it's awesome. You should get it. It's like $20 or $30 or something on Amazon. I mean, that's what I'm falling in love with right now. I just recently did a string of shows with a paranormal investigation group called Boo 812 and a local medium that owns their own coffee shop. So the idea is that I would do a Victorian seance, the medium would do readings, and then we would end with a spirit box session with paranormal investigators. So we're covering all of these mediums, me priming people up, the faker kind of, right? That was my role a little bit. Even though that's not, my show's not cut and dry like that. And then the real medium would come out and do readings, gallery readings, and then the paranormal investigators would do their things. In a weird way, we are all mediums. And that was the fun of that show, and then doing an overnight paranormal investigation when in that venue with some of our VIP guests every night. It was a blast. And we just wrapped that up. And that group is called Boo 812. And we're going to be talking with them, all of them for sure, on this show. Probably first because they're my friends and I want to selfishly talk with them more. So you'll hear from all of them. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I do. That's kind of what this is. I mean, long story short, tarot and palm readings set me on the hunt. So I don't want to take you up just talking. I know this is not entertaining. I don't think. I just wanted it to be an introduction. But yeah, I think you'll hear my story. And I will talk about paranormal experiences. I've had lots of paranormal experiences in my day. But I did just reveal a lot of those on a podcast called This Strange Reality. And my episode's not been released yet, so I don't want to ruin Kyle's thunder. If you somehow discovered this before This Strange Reality, my God, go listen to This Strange Reality. It's a great show. It's like This American Life meets the paranormal. It's awesome. Yeah, if you're into this kind of thing, check that out. It's so good. And I'm excited for my episode to come out and for everybody to hear it. And all the ones so far have been awesome. The storytelling's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know what else there's to say. I guess I can back it up a hair so you can get a big picture of my life in the paranormal and magic. So magic enters right away. My mom taped all of the David Copperfield specials when I was a kid. And there was one called Unknown Forces he recreated a Victorian seance routine. He did a spirit cabinet, which is a big part of Victorian seance culture. There was a spooky story and he had parts of that haunted house there in the theater. It was crazy. It's worth a watch. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. But I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. So magic right away. Paranormal right away. And I'm talking like 5 or 6 years old. I'm into this. And then my mom keeps that thread going too with ghost hunters later in life. That's something we bond over. And that deepens my belief in the paranormal, watching that show. And then also I was just blessed to live in a Halloween suburb. Like Halloween was a big deal. I remember this little kid down the street, Steven, his dad had like a really good, authentic Michael Keaton Batman costume one year for Halloween. He was walking around the neighborhood in, stole the show. But also it was like something you'd see in a movie. There are hundreds of kids on the streets, decorations everywhere, candy everywhere. But I just loved that so much. I loved dressing up and getting out there. I loved watching my dad hand out candy. I don't know if anybody else has that experience, but seeing my big, tough biker dad melt for little kids in costumes is one of my all-time favorite memories. And eating my candy and watching the Scooby-Doo marathon and the Addams Family marathon and Ernest Scared Stupid and all this stuff. It's just the highlight of my childhood, I think. And then, yeah, I grow up into this Christian kid. I do all this stuff. We talked about Penn and Teller already and their part in that. So we have 2 moments already where magic is a huge impact on my life and my spirituality, really. And now we're living the third. That's what this journey is me coming out of spiritual retirement as a skeptic magician and working my way back into being a believer, a seeker. That's what I'm going to say. I'm a seeker. I'm out here just studying it all, taking it all in, looking for answers, and encouraging you to do the same. And also a big thing in my shows, if you ever get to come see one, is empowering you to get out and do your thing. Like I just picked up a mic and recorded this. This is episode 1. It may fail spectacularly, but it could also be pretty awesome. And we won't know until we won't know for a few more episodes. I'm going to have to work at this. But you can do that too. You can pick up guitar. You can go book a show right now. Do that. Stop listening to me. I'm going to end this episode so you can go practice your hobby. I want you to promise with me right now that you're going to practice your hobby. Who knows? That one song you write on guitar could send you around the country. True story that happened to me. I was a professional musician. I wouldn't have gotten out there if I didn't have the balls to just write a song and book my own show. Same with magic. So I'll end you guys with that motivational speech that has nothing to do with anything. But guys, I'm so happy you're here. I'm excited to meet all of you and hopefully start a community with all of you. To be honest, this podcast is selfish for me. The title's literal. I'm learning to be liminal. I'm learning about all this stuff. And if you're a seeker, if you're learning too, welcome. If you know more than me, please engage, teach, comment. I want to talk to you. I don't know that I'm going to bring a lot of random people on the show. Kind of my goal is to make it experts or people that I've worked with, because I listen to a lot of like the paranormal shows where people kind of have random guests on to share their paranormal stories. And my bullshit detector just goes off too much and it kind of ruins those for me. I don't have the same lovey-dovey attitude that some of these people do when they're listening to stories. So yeah, I tend to keep it to experts, but I'm going to talk to you right away. Authors, psychical researchers, I have paranormal investigators that I've worked with that I'd like to talk to. A real medium. If she's a faker, she fooled the fuck out of me. Just say it right now. And even magicians, because I think that I don't know if there's a gap to even be bridged anymore. I don't know what that looks like, but I do know that in the paranormal community, people look at me and go, isn't that guy just a stage magician? And in the magician world, people go, your ethics are fucked. How could you give readings to people on stage? And I'm in the middle. I'm liminal in that space. So I want to try and bridge that gap, because I also work psychic fairs sometimes, and I will see like hypnotists doing something that I know is just a magic trick. Like, I know hypnotism is one of those things that it's like, is that real? Is it fake? I believe that parts of it are real, but there's a thing that's just blatant trickery that I see pretty often. And so I do know that there are believers out there being duped. I have seen it firsthand. And if I can prepare us all, if I can help, if I can bring people that are smarter than me in to help us all prepare ourselves, and I think that's our part as believers too, is to call out bullshit, which is what people are doing when they say, isn't he a stage magician? But I hope that I can bring some more knowledge about deception to you guys so that you can be on the lookout. And I hope that in return, I can seek some higher knowledge and gain some insight into things that I don't have the insight to now. It's a learning project all along. I'm just here to talk. I don't have a big community here in the Bible Belt. I seriously know 3 people. They're going to be like my first 3 guests. Those are the people I talk about this stuff with candidly, and it's kind of a thing that I don't talk about with other people outside of my shows. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about this. I'm excited to share my perspective as a magician and a professional reader so that we can get that going. Thanks for listening, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. And hi, I'm Jared. Nice to meet you. Say hi. Reach out to me. My email address will be in the show notes, and you can just write me and say hi. That's my email address. You can find me at jaredhowell.com. That's my contact info. I'm open. I'm here for you. That's a bold move. This is a selfish podcast for me to get out here and talk to people like you, talk to people that are seeking, believing, to talk to skeptics, just to talk to anybody interested in the strange, crazy, wide world of the paranormal, high strangeness, supernatural, whatever. Let's talk about it. Hopefully an hour a week or every other week, we can sit down together, ignore the rest of the world, the scary world, especially if you're here in the United States with me, and we can have some fun, have some good combos. Thank you so much. And I know it's really soon, but I've done 3 podcasts now in my day, 3 whole podcasts. at varying degrees of success. And I end all of them by saying, I love you. Have a good night.